vast abstractions, ideologies called communism, capitalism, all these systems, and paying less and less attention to the world of physical reality, to the world of earth and trees and waters, people, and so are, in the name of all sorts of abstractions, busy destroying our natural environment. Not so long ago, the Congress voted a law imposing stern penalties upon anyone who should presume to burn the American flag. And they put this law through with a great deal of patriotic oratory and the quoting of poems and so on about Old Glory, ignoring the fact entirely that these same congressmen, by acts of commission or omission, are burning up that for which the flag stands. They are allowing the utter pollution of our waters, of our atmosphere, the devastation of our forests, and the increasing power of the bulldozer to bring about a ghastly fulfillment of the biblical prophecy that every valley shall be exalted, every mountain laid low, and the rough places plain. But you see, they don't notice the difference between the flag and the country. Or as Korzybski pointed out, the difference between the map and the territory. Compare a physical globe and a political globe. The physical globe is a pretty thing with all kinds of green and brown wiggly patterns on it. The political globe, on the other hand, has still got the wiggly outlines of the land, but they are all crossed over with colored patches, many of which have completely straight edges. A lot of the boundary between the United States and Canada, once you get west of the Great Lakes, is simply a straight line. What has that got to do with anything? With any difference between Canadians on one side of the line or Americans on the other side of the line, or what have you? It is absolutely a violation of the surface of the territory. And look at the fair city of San Francisco. It's a lovely place, but they planted on the hills of San Francisco a city pattern that was appropriate for the plains of Kansas, a gridiron. And so you get streets that go straight up and that are extremely dangerous, where they should have followed the contours of the hills. Now, however, I think we should begin by talking a little bit about, when we use the word physical reality as distinct from abstraction, what are we talking about? Because you see, there's going to be a fight about this, philosophically. If I say that the final reality that we're living in is the physical world, a lot of people will say that I'm a materialist, that I'm unspiritual, and that I think too much of an identification of the man with the body. Any book that you open on yoga or Hindu philosophy will have in it a declaration that you start a meditation practice by saying to yourself, I am not the body. I am not my feelings. I am not my thoughts. I am the witness who watches all this and is not really any of it. And so if I were to say then that the physical world is the basic reality, I would seem to be contradicting what is said in these Hindu texts. But it all depends on what you mean by the physical world. What is it? First of all, it must be pointed out that the idea of the material world is itself philosophical. It is in its own way a symbol. And so if I take up something that is generally agreed to be something in the material world, and I argue that this is material, of course it isn't. Because nobody has ever been able to put their finger on anything material. That is to say, if by the word material, you mean some sort of basic stuff out of which the world is made, by, say, analogy with the art of ceramics, pottery, We use clay and we form it into various shapes. And so a lot of people think that the physical world is various forms of matter. And nobody has ever been able to discover any matter. They've been able to discover various forms, yes, various patterns, but no matter. You can't even think how you would describe matter in some terms other than form. Because whenever a physicist talks about the nature of the world, he describes a form, he describes a process which can be put into the shape of a mathematical equation. And so if you say A plus B equals B plus A, everybody knows exactly what you mean. It's a perfectly clear statement. But nobody needs to ask, what do you mean by A or what do you mean by B? Or if you say 1 plus 2 equals 3, that's perfectly clear. But you don't need to know 1 what, 2 what, or 3 what. And all our descriptions of the physical world have the nature of these formulae, numbers. They are simply mathematical patterns, because what we're talking about is pattern. But it's pattern of such a high degree of complexity that it's very difficult to deal with it by thinking. In science, we really work in two different ends of the spectrum of reality. We can deal with problems in which there are very few variables, or we can deal with problems in which there are almost infinitely many variables. But in between, we're pretty helpless. In other words, the average person cannot think through a problem involving more than 3 variables without a pencil in his hand. That's why, for example, it's difficult to learn complex music. Think of an organist who has 2 keyboards or 3 keyboards for work with his hands, and each hand is doing a different rhythm. And then his feet on the pedals, he can be doing a different rhythm with each foot. Now that's a difficult thing for people to learn to do, just like to rub your stomach in a circle and pat your head at the same time takes a little skill. Now, most problems with which we deal in everyday life involve far more than 3 variables. And we are really incapable of thinking about them. Actually, the way we think about most of our problems is simply going through the motions of thinking. We don't really think about it. We do most of our decision-making by hunch. You can collect data about a decision that you have to make, but the data that you collect has the same sort of relation to the actual processes involved in this decision as a skeleton to a living body. It's just the bones. And there are all sorts of entirely unpredictable possibilities involved in every decision. And you don't really think about it at all. The truth of the matter is that we are as successful as we are, which is surprising, the degree to which we are successful in conducting our everyday practical lives, because our brains do the thinking for us in an entirely unconscious way. The brain is far more complex than any computer. The brain is, in fact, the most complex known object in the universe, because our neurologists don't understand it. They have a very primitive conception of the brain and admit it. And therefore, if we do not understand our own brains, that simply shows that our brains are a great deal more intelligent than we are. Meaning by we, the thing that we have identified ourselves with. Instead of being sensible and identifying ourselves with our brains, we identify ourselves with a very small operation of the brain, which is the faculty of conscious attention, which is a sort of radar that we have that scans the environment for unusual features. And we think we are that. and we are nothing of the kind. That's just a little trick we do. So actually, our brain is analyzing all sensory input all the time, analyzing all the things you don't notice, don't think about, don't have even names for. And so it is this marvelous complex goings-on which is responsible for our being able to adapt ourselves intelligently to the rest of the physical world. The brain is furthermore an operation of the physical world. But now you see, though, we get back to this question. Physical world. This is a concept. This is simply an idea. And if you want to ask me to differentiate between the physical and the spiritual, I will not put the spiritual in the same class as the abstract. But most people do. They think that 1 + 2 = 3 is a proposition of a more spiritual nature than, say, for example, a tomato. But I think a tomato is a lot more spiritual than 1 + 2 = 3. This is where we really get to the point. That's why in Zen Buddhism, when people ask what is the fundamental principle of Buddhism, you could very well answer a tomato. Because look how, when you examine the material world, how diaphanous it is. It really isn't very solid. A tomato doesn't last very long. Nor, for that matter, do the things that we consider most exemplary of physical reality, such as mountains. The poet says, the hills are shadows, and they flow from form to form, and nothing stands. Because the physical world is diaphanous. It's like music. When you play music, it simply disappears. There's nothing left. And that, for that very reason, it is one of the highest and most spiritual of the arts.
Heck yeah.
Because it is the most transient. And
It's
so,
true.
in a way, you might say that transiency
Good morning, everyone.
is a mark of spirituality. A lot of people...
How's everybody doing out there? Happy Hump Day, right smack dab in the middle of the week.
But you see, the more a thing tends to
Working on getting to the weekend.
the more it tends to be lifeless.
Figured we could all use a little Alan Watts today. Dude knows what he's talking about, you know? I like that he gives music its proper respect when he is pointing out various things about humans and the way we are about various things. Pretty awesome dude to sample, that's for sure. All right, hope you're all doing well. Today, we are going to make a sound pack. Well, we're going to finish a sound pack. We started it, not the last stream. I missed you guys on Monday, by the way. We had crummy internet here after a big storm. Not Friday last week, but what was it, Wednesday, when we recorded Suckbacks? Well, we are going to take those forward playing samples that we created. We're going to flip them all in reverse, and we're going to figure out which ones are good enough to make the cut and which ones aren't. It will end up being a pack of 100 sounds. There are currently 155 sounds sitting in this folder right here. And they're all interesting. They all made the cut to get this far. So we'll just have to see exactly what gets put into the bin and what gets put into the final pack for delivery. And then the last thing to do is name stuff and give it a demo track. So we're going to run through those steps today. See what we get up to along the way. I don't think I really need to audition any of these in the Finder. I think I can just bring these all into our project here. Now, Normally, um, normally I would not put these all on one track. I would probably split them up in various ways. There is, however, a really long track already in this project, so my project is already stretched out quite a bit. I might just drop this in here and see how it goes. Let's just see, huh? $155 items. Let's see what happens. One track, please. I don't think we have finished files here, but we'll pretend like we have clear runway ahead of us and can just export this all in one batch. Oh, that doesn't look too huge compared to the Alan Watts recording. Okay, that makes my work look pretty easy. All right, so what we're going to do first is we're just going to highlight everything we just brought in, and we're just going to add a little fade curve on both sides, and we will reverse all of these sounds. And now we can zoom in, and we can start listening to these things. See what we actually recorded. I'm going to turn up our volume here, and I'm going to bring down this limiter here. I have no idea where we are loudness wise on things. So our main task here will be a couple-fold. We are going to trim silence, and we are going to get them to a loudness that seems good. I don't think I'm going to further process these sounds. I think what we're going to mostly focus on is curation, because there's 155 sounds here. So if I don't think a handful of these sounds are not good enough, then I don't need to try and make them better. I can set them off to the side for now, and I can keep making progress. And when I listen through the 100 that I select, if for some reason I really don't like a couple of them, I can go back and pull a couple out of that bin. So I'm going to move this up in my project so I'm not looking down the whole time. I'd rather look up. And kick things off here. Okay, so I'm seeing first audio here, so I'm just going to trim up to about here. We could go through and do a bunch of trim silence on these, but it's 6 and 1/2 dozen of the other at this point in the game. If we could do a huge batch strip silence of all of them, and trust what we were getting, like from RX, for instance, and then bring it all in, I would do it every single time, but inevitably there's always like one file that has like some sort of like content being cut off in a weird way, whatever. You end up just kind of using that time that you ended up saving. And some of these we might need to trim just a little bit too. Some of these feel a little loose. Felt good. Yeah, so we're just going to go through and we're going to just hit one of these at a time. Ooh, good morning, Liv. Hope you're doing well over there. Good morning, Saf. Hope you're doing well as well. Olivia saying these sound effects go well with the electro jazz piece I've got open right now. That's awesome. Hey! Saf says, I have to guiltily say this on stream, but I use ChatGPT to craft sound toys presets. That's great. The names or to actually help you program what you're getting out of the tool? I'm curious. Please do tell. All right, so I am just going to look at a couple of things before these things get sent out the door. I'm not going to touch them too much. Feels pretty good. Let's get our loudness right at a good spot here. Ooh, that's pretty good. It's a little low on the left side, but I think we're kind of knocking on it. That feels good. That feels good. Saf saying program to get what out of the tool? Oh, yeah, and craft the name. Very good. Yeah. Saf, I encourage you to do more of that. It's really interesting how uh, how we can all like engage with AI in general, but moreover, it's a lot like just having someone near you, right, who understands a tool when you do not fully, right, and then you can just bounce stuff off of them constantly. This is great. This is great. Keep us up to date on this little adventure of yours. I love this. It's a good side quest. It's great. I like it because it's a bit more informed than just random, right? Just like hitting the random button and not knowing why you got what you got. You can kind of retrace your footsteps, start to make sense of things. Okay, I am going to think about the names now or later. I think we'll do it later. Yeah, let's do that later. Okay, so I'm just going to start bouncing. And these are all going to be wave 24, 48 to offline. We will not include an audio tail. Do not want that. We want these to be super tight. Just to be sure, make sure that we've got just a 1 on the fade out there. Okay. Okay, so we're going to have 100 of these, so I'm just going to call this 001. I start it somewhere around here and have that be acceptable. Yeah, I think that's okay. That's pretty good. All right, we'll get into a nice little rhythm here, and we will start flying. In fact, maybe we even want to put a little background music on today, shall we? Saffron saying, also, you can understand the tool better when you start to craft these presets yourself. Yeah, no, it's true. And you have that chat history too, right? So when you start to connect the dots and you start to make something that's been stumping you for a while or it's been eluding you in some way, you can go back and look at these conversations again with fresh eyes and be like, oh, now I understand why we were doing that. And it can really lead you to like actual comprehension and, you know, a better chance at good discovery every session. Hey, Devious Furball here. How you doing? Devious saying, I just end up messing around with prompts. Create an image using the prompt. Warthog, Flibberty, Gibbet, and just seeing how it interprets my own gibberish or if it pulls a thread of structure out of my own stupidity. Yeah, I love that. I love that. Absolutely. There's some whimsy in that. All right, so I've got, did I bounce that second one? If I can keep track of where I am as we go. Yes. All right. All right, so we're starting around here. Bring this guy up a bit. Yeah, okay, that was a little harsh there. Hey, you know what, Saf? There is absolutely nothing wrong. You know, this is a chatbot is nothing more than a summarization of a whole bunch of folks that have chipped in on knowledge base about something. That's all it is, right? It's like a group consensus sitting there as like a little character. You know what I mean? Um, and asking questions is never a bad thing, right? As I think there's a hang up around the word like create, like when we say, "Oh, did you create that?" And you start to question if am I actually really a creator if I got help understanding something and or if I didn't record the sounds myself, did I actually create this? But yeah, you still made a thing. The thing now exists in the world and nobody else is responsible for it directly, so it must be you. Yeah, absolutely. Devious nails it right there. I wouldn't feel bad at all. That's what presets are for in the first place. Yeah. And honestly, it's like if I make a great song and I feel like it needs like beautiful angelic female vocals over the top of it, I can't even get there myself anyway. I need other people. Yeah. Yeah. We're not meant to do it all alone, homie. Don't feel bad about any of that. You do you. Yeah, that one's got a nice little like kind of rupturing tension to it, doesn't it? Oh yeah, background music. Let's do that. Here, let's just turn on. We go to here. We'll just go Cosmic Fields. We'll just play some background. You guys just let me know if that ends up being a bit much or if it's okay. All right, what are we on here? Number 4, right? Yes, number 4. cruising right along. I think we're going to bring this up just a bit. Yeah, that's better. I don't like selling silence, really. Yeah, that feels pretty good. Nice and sharp. Yeah. It's a little hot. All right, let's bounce that. 5 is alive. All right, this guy here. That one's good on its own. 6 is done. All right, we start right around here. Ooh, that's lovely. I'm gonna push the gain on this just a bit. Yeah, that's nice. It's got a nice little edge to it. Goodbye, number 7. I think that one will make it. Saf's saying, yeah, it's good to ask questions, too, if you want to craft your own sounds or just like grab something if you have the tool for it. So yeah, it's not really a big issue if you still made it in just your own way. Absolutely, Saf. Absolutely. You're invariably going to put your hands all over that, whatever it is, with all your mixing and all the stuff that comes after that moment, for sure. Devious saying, sometimes I feel strange for using samples while sitting here with hundreds of gigs worth of Ghosthack packs. If someone has the skill and ability to make something more usable than you can yourself, then use the better thing. Who cares if you bought it or not? It's like a chef going, but did you grow the corn yourself? It's not real cake unless you personally tilled the fields by hand. I was just having this conversation with someone else. Like, I'm a classically trained chef. And if I say, I'm going to make spaghetti sauce from scratch here at home this weekend, I do not start by going out and picking tomatoes and making an Espanol sauce and then starting to make a tomato sauce from that. I don't. I go to the store and I get some crushed tomatoes and I get some tomato paste and I get some tomato sauce, maybe. And then I start there. So it's already started. Everyone is using presets. Ain't nobody out there doing stuff all on their own, entirely from scratch. None of it. Even if someone is out there tilling the fields, grinding the grain, making the stuff all themselves, they still got that knowledge elsewhere. So ain't nobody doing it alone. Proceed with your productions. That's what I say. The world of sampling just alone, like, take out all the other conversation about presets and people assisting you in various ways, but just sampling alone is such a creative and amazing thing. Like, how can we not explore this with like glee? You know what I mean? Okay, I feel like this one maybe doesn't even need the first few blips. Maybe it's just like super short. I'm gonna put this one back here. Oh, maybe it's got like a little fade. I'm gonna take this down just a little bit more. Yeah, I think I'll keep that. So we're going to put this here. Saf saying, I'm not that ashamed to use sample phonics packs because they're pretty good and I like experimenting with them. Honestly, there's nothing wrong with using those kids from time to time. It doesn't matter. Though I'm kind of a bit of more of a sound explorer that likes to play around with my own sounds, but I don't mind using samples or from a sample pack. Yeah, it's all the same. It's all the same. You know, it's like when you're walking down the street and you hear like a certain bird song or something and it inspires you, right? Or you hear like a screech in traffic and it inspires you, or you overhear someone's conversation and what they're talking about inspires you, right? Like you're getting inspiration from all over the place. You didn't make any of those things that inspired you. So, yeah, yeah. That's just about right as it is. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what that kind of concern does do, though. It definitely holds people back from actually doing, or doing more, I should say. So the less you worry about those things, the better. Because eventually you just end up finding yourself frustrated and worrying about the fact that you never really accomplish much with the thing that you want to accomplish things in. Like your craft. All right, we're going to bounce that one. That is number 8. Go for it here. Let's start this one right around here. Ooh, actually, let's start that much shorter. Yeah, disco. Yeah, lovely. Number 9. Number 9. All right, we're going to start right around here. I'm not sure we need all that, do we? I don't know. Feels okay. Maybe we'll just put a longer fade in here. Maybe like let's do a half-second fade. That's better. Okay, I'm gonna peak that just a bit more. Ooh, disco. Let's lock that guy in. That's number 10. You know, Saf, we're now kind of in this new age of people will be using AI, well, have been using AI in various ways. And I think it's going to be interesting what kind of disclosure people roll with, right? Like, if I'm working on a big alien uh, sample library, for instance, right? Or like sci fi um, theme in some way. Like, I have no qualms turning to AI and like describing what kind of theme I want with great specificity and then asking it to generate just a ton of names in that theme and then picking the ones that I like from that. It saves me so much time. It's great. It's great. It's great. Liv says, I have a lot of thoughts on this conversation, but I think I'm going to keep them to myself. I will say that there's already a place where this question has been answered in depth, and that's academia. Plagiarism is heavily punished, while simultaneously it is basically a requirement to understand to be able to use, cite, previously established frameworks knowledgeably. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Prove that your thoughts are valid by pointing at someone else's thoughts that other people deemed valid. Proceed. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, devious is great. You know what I mean? It's great. You know, you can blend corn and wheat in such amazing ways. It's true. It's true. You know what you can get out of that? Graham. You know, make like your own golden grams at home. Boom. Done. Ooh, yeah. Let's bring that one down just a smidge here. Yeah. Oh, that's nice little tearing. I love that. Yo, Nero, welcome in. How you doing? Happy hump day to you. Let's bounce that one. I like that one. That is number 11. Somewhere around here. Start this one. All right. Yeah, so that just doesn't work there, right? This one may not even make the cut because of it, but we need this to be like way tighter over here. We just need this to be like a really sharp cut. So let's go find it. Gotta just, bam, right at its peak. I don't think it's gonna work. Now you see, we could try and save this. We could say, okay, let's get clever and we'll put some modulation on here. We'll put a tremolo in here. This is easy to save, right? We'll just zero out the phase here. We'll put a rate of like maybe 16th triplets. We'll put some depth on here. We'll chop it up. We'll chop it up like this. It'll sound cool, right? And also, it still doesn't have like that. So I'm going to say this one does not make the cut. That one just doesn't do it. So we're going to lose it. Put a color on it. If we really feel bad about it, we'll come back and figure out a way to use it, but I'm not going to feel bad about it. All right, and this one too, probably. Oops. Undo that. Oh, let me turn off the tremolo. Everything is chopped. I mean, that one actually has a decent peak to it, but let's just see. That one actually does sound okay, right? We'll take it right here, and we'll just put a little, let's say, 650 fade on that. I mean, it still may not make the cut, but that is better. Let's just drive it a bit. We'll bounce it. We're one off now, right? Yeah, we're number 12. Liv saying, it's more so the ability to synthesize new points of view based on all that has come before you. Yes, absolutely. You must know the academic canon of knowledge in your respective such that you can talk about and critique it intellectually. It's heady and not for everyone, which is why there is so much concern over the way AI will likely be used by laymen. Respective field. I feel you. You're going to shave your legs. Awesome. This is... what are we going for? Number 13 here? Yeah, this is one of those conversations that will probably continue for a while, but not forever, because it's not... it's not focused on the right things. It's just not a conversation that's going to hold people's interest much longer. I think it's... I think that it's basically a generational thing at this point, almost. We live and exist in an industry that requires the use of digital tools for most people, because you got to be real about how many people can wield a symphony, who has access, knowledge, all that kind of stuff. Let's curve this thing. Very much so. The kids fucking love GPT. Yeah, that's that. I mean, the not thinking thing is a problem, but it'll get sorted. It'll get sorted. You know, I'll tell you what. I went through high school pre-computer era, like before the internet existed, and I remember when calculators. There was a huge uproar about calculators. Could not have a calculator in math class. Absolutely cheating until you had to learn how to use a calculator. And then, hey, you know what? Now it's a requirement. Now you have to have the calculator, but use it responsibly. And then programming calculators came along. And once the teachers realized that you could actually just program the answers into your calculators, they were like, oh, well, um, uh, hmm, and then before you knew it, like calculators are gone and computers are there. So to me, I'm just like, it'll sort itself out because there's still people that understand math, right? And those that don't have interest in it aren't going to be chasing that stuff anyway, right? And the people that are super caught up in the fact that those people don't want to chase math, like, I don't understand why they're so caught up in those other people's concerns anyway. So, whatever. It'll sort itself out. It'll sort itself out. Or it will be our doom. I don't know. It could be either. It could be both. There's been a lot of cautionary tales leading up to this point, so. Right, Liv? I will be pro GPT when it materially improves my life. Simple as that. I harbor much less disdain for it than I did even a month ago. See, there you go. It's acclamation, right? You're just coming around. Coming around. Devious says, I don't use AI outside of silly entertainment, but I'm most definitely a layperson when it comes to music and sound design. Last time I used AI was to make the characters in Skyrim actually conversable. It was incredibly complex and involved locally hosting an LLM, but heck was it fun. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I just think that all these weird little endeavors that we all embark on individually, like they're all just going to be made a little bit easier, and that's cool. Like everyone's side quests are just that. They're just little side quests, and I just think there's a lot of concern that maybe doesn't need to be happening in general at all times. It'll be a big old cosmic flare someday, and all of our chips in all of our devices, all of our cars, everything will just be fried in like an instant. It will be like, "Wait, wait, but I didn't even hit save. Like, and all your music is gone, and no more video games, and then see how much better you can do it the next time around." Ooh, wow, that one was wild. Let's take, and what will fade to like here or something? Yeah, okay. That one's a wild one. Yeah, cool. Sci-fi. Zeep Zanthorpe, how you doing? Happy Wednesday to you. Let's take that peak down just a little bit more. Sure, we'll call that good. Okay, right here. Yeah, that's great. We're just gonna give this a little shave here. Oh, that's lovely. Let's just bounce that. I typically, when I know what the pack needs to be, I will typically set myself up with all of the sounds at a point where I could just start bouncing them, and I'll get them all into a separate folder. I'll get them out of the project, and I'll even call the project Bounce Party.
Are you really gonna
Bounce Party. And wait, why are we hearing a
Join us.
commercial right now?
That's an opportunity for you.
Oh, that's
at
terrible. Anyway, then I don't distract myself with any plugins or anything. Just remind myself that I've already gotten them all to this point. Don't need to do much more to them. Ooh, let's hear a little bit more of that thrust in there. That. Ooh, that's a little spicy though, isn't it? Ooh, nice, Zeep. Just got a last-minute invite to EDC. Yeah, man. Whoa, Inspector Music. It has been a minute. How you doing? Happy Hump Day to you. Hope you're doing well over there. Hey, we're going to start this one right there. What you got cooking over there? All right, we're going to take this and we're going to give it a little 350 fade. We're going to push this peak just a little bit more. That's the one. All right. Let's start this one kind of inside the noise already. Maybe over here. And we'll give it a new fade, 650 or so. Ooh, yeah, but also let's give this thing an EQ, shall we? We do not need. Yeah, holy wow. Okay, let's just bring that down another 10, 15. Maybe. Let's hear that again. I need to turn this off so I'm not seeing it. Hold on. Let's figure this thing out. I don't think this one's going to make it. We'll see. Maybe. Maybe, but I doubt it. We'll bounce it. I think it'll be in the bin because we got a lot of really tasty sounds in the lineup here. Oh, let's turn this off. Thank you. And we'll roll this up to about here. All right, let's bring back that EQ. And turn off that shelf. Shave off these frequencies here. That works. I don't think that one's going to make it either. It sounds super generic. I mean, generic means it would be used a lot. All right, 121. Okay, next. Let's get this one started over here. What did I just do? There we go. It's like super vanilla. I don't think this one's going to make it either. This will be 22. Wow, it's a long wave. Let's start this one over here somewhere, and we'll just say 450. Yeah, that works. Call that 23. We'll start this one somewhere over here. That feels good. Let's get that peak up a little bit. That feels very useful. Yeah, that's a solid one. Nice crunchy texture. Yo, that's good. Hey, 25 samples done. You're wondering what happens to the 55 samples that do not make it into this pack. What happens to them? Well, I can make a decision about what happens to them. There could be a much easier path to Volume 3. I could save some for Volume 3. This is Volume 2 in an ongoing series, or I could choose to just put them all into my portfolio and just license them all individually, which is probably what will happen. All right, that feels really weird and wrong, and we're just going to take this one out of the mix. Not liking that one. Onto this one. Yeah, not a fan. Onto this one. Oh, we should color that, just in case we ever come back to this project. Add this a little bit here. Bring that up. There we go. All right, let's give this a better fade in here. Yeah, okay. Let's give that a little extra gain. Yeah, maybe a touch more. We'll bounce that. 7. Let's go listen to some of these. See what we've done so far. Alright, sound fine. Moving on. A little bit more. Oh, that one's good. A little bit more there. Alright, and let's just push this fade in a little bit more. Nice little kind of turbine suck there. Lovely. Give this a couple extra dB here. Yep, that'll do. We're at 30. How about that? All right, let's good fade on this. 850 now. Let's say 1250. Yeah, that's good. Okay. It's got a little flubby ending here. Let's see if we can tighten that up a little bit. Now. It's not the best, but alright. Alright, it's pretty good. Reminds me of the kind of suckback that you hear in the show Dark. Brilliant show, by the way. Netflix. Okay, this is great. I think it's got a little too much sub energy in here because we can't really appreciate the thin little string pluck that's happening. So I'm just going to roll this up a bit more. Maybe just a little bit more still. It's okay. We'll call that good. Okay, this one can keep a bit more of its low end than the other one could, I think. Still need to shave some off. Ooh. Let's take a little more low end and we'll just bump this a few dB. That feels good. 34. Dun-dun-dun. I bet we could probably get up to like here. Let's put our fade at, say, second. I don't know about this one. Seems pretty flimsy. Ooh. Let's start this one over here. And again, maybe a full second fade. Yeah, it's dope. Okay, we'll bring this up a bit. Way below our Luft's target, but it feels right. Let's just bring this over here. All right, let's put a big long curve on this. Let's say 2.5 seconds. And let's push this a good 5 dB. More. Yeah, it feels good. 10 dB. Yeah, it feels good. A little more. A little more. Yeah, it's got some nice surface texture now. Oh, that's not what I wanted at all. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. feels good. Let's bring that down just a little bit. Get rid of that peak clip. Yeah, it's good. Oh. Okay, so right around here. Let's just give this a little fade. Yeah, that's dope. As is. $40. Yeah, that feels right. I'll just cut that in half. That's good. It's big, but that feels right. Sample number 41. Start it right around here. We don't need a big curve, but just bigger than that. Yeah, okay. Let's push this up a bit. This one's wonky. Yeah, I'll take that. Number 42. Hey, we are making good time. Hey, I like this. All right, let's put a curve on this. 85. No, how about maybe like... No, not 375. How about like 750? There we go. For that. Yeah. Cool. $43. All right, let's start it where you can't really hear all the modulation yet. Yeah, it's nice. Let's give this an extra 5 dB or so. Yeah, that's good. Number 44 here. All right, we can go here. This is a pretty weak ending, though. Let's say this fade in of, say, like 650. Or like full second. $13.50. That's the one. All right, let's get a little less sub in there. That's the ticket. I don't think that one's going to make it, though. Far more interesting ones in the pack. Let's get that first beat in there. Yep, okay, let's give this a fade of about 85. And try it again. I'll put a couple dB. Oof. Yes. felt right. That's number 46. Let's give this a fade of, say, maybe not a full second, maybe like 850. And let's just flex that a little bit. Let's flex that again. Yo, Zendremic. Welcome in, homie. You know what? Maybe we just need to let's back off this. Let's bring this in. Sample 47. Boom. Yeah. I like that one better than the first one. All right. That one will probably end up making it. 48. Done. Ooh, let's cut this one really short. Nice little squelchy little intro there. Let's just say it's got like 65. Ooh, let's bring that back just a little bit. Ooh, that's it. Alright, let's just get the curve right here. It's not 65, maybe it's 90. It's loud. Hey, it's 49. I'm going to switch background music a bit. Ooh, if we cut this one short too. This. Like that. That's number 50. Alright, if we started here and put a really long fade on it, say a second and a half. Yeah, that's good. And push that a few dB. Yeah, that's good. $52. We're just gonna start it right about there, and we'll just put a nice long fade on it, say 1350, and we'll just bam, just like that. A little extra dB at the end. Yeah, it's nice. 53. Ooh, all right, let's start it right there. Give this a little 250 fade here. Yeah, let's go ahead and bounce that. Ooh, let's take off all the tonal stuff in front and just call that our shape right there. Let's push that a bit. $55. Ooh, right here. And we'll just call this a 50 curve here. Yeah, I like that. Let's bring that up a few dB. $56. Ooh, yeah. Sweet. Getting into a next little set of sounds here. Good. $7. Start that around here. Give that a fade of, say, 100. Yep. Feels right. Just a touch more. It's a nice landing there. Nice little sci-fi. 58. Yep. Nice and squelchy. It's a nice little action thriller style. Yeah, that's good. Squiggles. All right. Ooh. Shriek. Yeah, that's pretty piercing and annoying, isn't it? We'll call that good. Gotta have at least a couple of piercing and annoying sounds in a pack like this, right? Set this at a 65. It's good. It's a little harmonic resonance in there. But this one, dope. Similar. We'll give this one a 85. Number 62. Okay, we'll start it right here. And we're going to give that a fade of, say, 150 here. Maybe 250. Yeah. Bring that up a few. And down just a little bit. Bounce that. $63 is done. Let's call this 175 here. Yeah, just give that a little gain here. That feels like a slow burn crime drama. All right, this one. Call that right there. I'm gonna say this got a fade in of $150. That's good to go. 65. All right, that's pretty beefy. Bring this down. UDB. Bring this way up. I just don't think we need that huge build. And let's say we've got like a 2-second fade on this. Yeah, that's fine. Let's go ahead and truncate this a bit. We'll put a little fade here. Say like 220 or so. $67. Slow and steady. I don't know about this one. It's a bit of a fart, isn't it? That's a pretty interesting sound. Let's roll with it. We'll see if it makes the cut. 69. I actually like having these clicks in here, so we will keep them. And let's just give this little fade a big little bump in gain. Like that one. That one's got sci-fi written all over it, doesn't it? Little internet drama. Maybe not so sci-fi. Little 285 curve on that guy. Get this little 6 dB bump maybe. Let's go a little higher. I'm gonna set that at right about 10 dB. $71. Let's put this up a bit. It's nice. Quite harmonic. Resonant. Nice little glitchy, disruptive transition there. I don't know if these last two will make it, but they're certainly interesting. Let's just get past that little glitchy, abrupt start there. I don't know if that's going to work. It doesn't really feel much like a suck back. We could cut it short. I think we're just going to skip this one. It's got a cool timbre. It just doesn't move right. Proxima! How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Happy Wednesday to you. How are things across the river? Liv saying, maybe I'd just start making music differently. I've always wanted to do an album of piano improv tracks. Yeah. You know, it is astounding just how much all of us, I'm not like pointing the finger at anyone and say, like, all of us, I think, are doing this a lot. We say, I really wish I could just do this with my music. It's like you could, definitely could. There's no rules saying you cannot do that. I would love to hear. You shared a bunch of piano improv stuff with me in that little brief window of time when we were talking internship, Liv, and I loved all of it. This one's pretty darn plain here. Liv saying, coming in without full context here, changing up your approach to music, even if temporarily, is something I always recommend. Oh yeah, bravo. Good response. I agree. Proc saying, oh, I'm doing well-ish. Got hit by a double-edged good news. The guy wanting to sign my track likes it so much he wants to make it a feature EP. That said, I now need to make more music that fits the sound and also passes the label vibe check. So, we stress, but good stress. Yeah, that's fantastic. And don't try to make everything quite like that. Bring in more of that really infectious stuff that you've been bringing by here. Feed the beast. Feed the beast. You never know where a relationship is going to end up going in this business. So feed the beast early and often. Early and often. Liv says, it certainly does come easy. 99% of the music I play I don't record because it's just me and my piano. I'll tell you what, and you've probably heard me say this here before, but quite literally and honestly, that's the stuff that has the most day-to-day value for you. Like, that's the stuff that you can build an entire career around, is like the incidental stuff. It's true. What you're hearing in the background right now is kind of like that, where, well, there isn't very much noodling in there. It's pretty steady. But just the tiny little, almost kind of abstract-y, just little improv bits. They don't have to have a whole lot of storytelling momentum or continuity to them. But if they are emotive and they can help encapsulate a moment, those are the things, those fleeting little things. Those, just imagine how many of those you hear in like an average, hour-long drama or something like that. Saf says, I was just thinking about incorporating metal guitars in like shoegaze guitars into my music. Yeah. Yeah, Saf, you could do that. Syndremic. I can't do what I want to do. It will impact my giant career, which consists of one follower. Actually, I'm about to unleash anything and everything. Ooh, does that mean that Syndremic stuff is going to be pushed out all over the place? Hey, Paul is here. Welcome in, Paul. How you doing, homie? Greetings from cloudy Maryland. It's sunny here in Portland with light fluffy clouds right now, which is a nice turn of events. It's been pouring the past few days. Prox is saying, yeah, one of the demos I tried to add to the EP wasn't their fave, which kind of sucks because I like it. It's hard to shut those anxieties out and just continue to find stuff that sounds good without that influence. Here's the best way to approach it. Okay? You hope for a no. You want the no, because the no means I keep this one in my pocket. I'm trying to grow this relationship right now. So what I'm going to do is until I figure out exactly what the lay of the land here is, I'm going to give this relationship kind of first right of refusal, because keeping it in my pocket right now isn't actually doing much for me in this moment. It might later, but later may not happen. So right now, let's try and make later happen and just put all of these different things in front of this person. Now, each time they say, nah, that's not really my vibe, you say yes on the inside. And you just move on to the next one. And you say, like, with a straight face, like, okay, cool, next track. Let's see what you think, right? Because I got a lot of these, right? That right there is the way. Like, this is just shopping. It's just shopping. The music is not precious, right? You are precious. Sin says, so many artists say, I can't release this, or it's not it, but do release it, and it's their biggest hit. Then go to release something they think will be the biggest hit, and it gets crickets. Release everything. Yeah, Sin. The moral of the story is that beauty's in the eye of the beholder and all of that stuff. And also, it can't be something without ever being out there to be discovered, you know? And also, what exactly is so bad about putting something out that doesn't get as many listens or likes or whatever as other stuff? I'm trying to find the fault in that. Is it that people are not feeling like they spent their time wisely, or that they failed somehow because the people that have come across it up to this point haven't listened to it as much or something? I don't know. There's a little post-mortem value seeking, I think. Paul can't stay long, but wanted to pop and say hi. Hi, Paul. Prox says, have you ever listened to any of the Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom soundtrack? It's gorgeous. Yes, I play a ton of it with my kid constantly. So yes, it goes through my head randomly as I'm doing other things. Sin says, yep, I'm beginning a release schedule, which will be everything and the kitchen sink, possibly 2 kitchen sinks, depending upon the mood. Excellent. That's great. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Just put it out there. You guys just saw me dump, like, over the past couple of weeks, just like hundreds of things up. It's not the best way to get a YouTube channel going again. It took me a couple of days to like put decent art on the front of all of them and put text on their slides and everything, but whatever. The channel will pick up momentum at some point. Just put it all out there, Zen. Put it all out there. Brock's saying, oh yeah, anything that doesn't get accepted by my label ends up in my Shebang Records, my self-release label. Yeah. Shebang Records is a great name, by the way. Paul is saying, my monthly release of videos this Saturday. Uploading now. Yeah, Prox. Yeah, it's really just a mental shift, We tell ourselves all of these stories about value and blah, blah, blah. I could be getting more from this, and that's why I'm not doing it. Blah, 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 blah. All of those things are just keeping the things from happening. Sin says, plenty of albums from big stars that no one has heard of. Does it really matter what gets released? Just create a playlist. Yeah, exactly. And then the same thing can exist in multiple playlists too. So make a bunch of playlists, right? Call them different things. Make different mood sets. Just go wild. People will find it in different ways, and that's totally fine. Totally fine. Prox says, I've been the same way for 3 years now, and I still release independent a lot. Just trying to get into community labels and get my music in front of more eyes. Also trying to get foot in the door of running events and shows. Yeah, that's the way to do it. Yeah. You become indispensable and more valuable to people by becoming a multidisciplined artist that works well with others, Yeah. Paul, taking YouTube by force. Just by sheer numbers, people will watch some stuff. Shebang. Oh, that's funny. Immediately, each time I see it, I know this is. I just need to say it out loud because it's something that sits in my head every single time. There's this shop called Shebop, and Rox, you probably already know this, but every single time I see Shebang, I think Shebop. Paul says, find me as Uncle Chrome on YouTube, Blippity Bloop Theater 37, Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, absolutely. Bin Bash. Absolutely. Yeah, they are great if you have money. Yes. It's true. Okay, where were we? I was right in the middle of being super productive here, wasn't I? Did I do this one? Let's go find out if I did this one. No, I didn't. Let's bounce this one. It's very vanilla. But I guess, you know, we kind of need vanilla every once in a while. What if we put just a little... Let's put a little trem on here. Just a tiny little wiggle. And we'll just zero out the phase here, and we'll call the depth around 80, and just say it's like 16th notes or something. No. No. Yeah, I kind of like it. Just bring the offset over here, give it a little more volume. Sure. A little gain. Ah. Maybe a little less gain. There we go. $74. Splat. Oh, Paul. Kurt Vonnegut co-opted to be an anus. It does look like a cat's asshole. Oh, man. Say nice things about Zin while he's away. Alright, I did. I bounced that one. That's an interesting one. Let's get rid of the tremolo. That one is very simple, and I don't think it will survive either. Sample number 75. Bump, 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 bump. I'm not really a fan of this one. We'll see. I don't think that one's going to make it. It's just too short. I include these little glitchy ones sometimes, and you never actually know what will be exported, but I don't want to export like 5 or 6 versions. So sometimes they work, sometimes they fail. I don't like this one really either. 750. How about 500? I like it better now. Alright, keep that. I don't know. Prox is saying, unrelated, I've really been struggling with crafting a good low-end groove. Do y'all ever end up randomly completely forgetting how to do something you've done tons of times before? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Usually I find it to be indicative of me needing a change of some kind, like a rut that I'm not wanting to continue to do in exactly the same way. So there's like, I kind of trick myself into thinking that I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I know exactly the feelings you're talking about. To me, it's usually because of that, though. I think it's often because I'm like, I don't want to do it the same way. What do I want to do? I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what I want to do differently. Like, what do you want for dinner? I don't know what I want for dinner. Oh, Proc says also, I found an Internet Archive megadump of a bunch of the zero G sample CDs from the early 90s. You can't buy them from the OG sellers anymore, so I guess they're fair game now. Wow. Wow. Well, by fair game, just be aware that um, things can be out of circulation and still be under like copyright. So if there's anything that's like super identifiable, you might want to touch it a bit first. Paul says, time to run. Take it all, or take it easy, y'all. Take care, Paul. Have a good one over there. Can't have the same meal every night. Yeah, I hear you. Same gray area as abandonware. Yeah, which is a strange... We live in a strange time, don't we? Yeah. I mean, really, when it comes down to it, anything legal, it just comes, like, it all relies upon, like, is someone enforcing this or not? Like, there are, I don't want to, like, name names or anything, but there are, like, literally whole marketplaces that don't do anything to, like, hold people accountable in any way. Saf saying you can still find zero G samples on eBay. Yeah, yeah, yep. All right, I think I did this one. Yep. Ooh, this is pretty farty too. I don't know about this one. I don't know. Maybe it's got a character to it, you know. 79. Yes, it is a weird time right now. Facts. Fact. Oh, the beauty of overproducing. I listen to a sound like that, and I'm like, that has no luster. But I don't need to fix it. Because it probably just won't make it in the pack. So nobody will ever know that it wasn't up to par. Well, I mean, you guys will know. But you guys are like sworn to secrecy or something, right? Ooh, man. Man. Sketchy time right now with copyright. And it sucks. It sucks. It absolutely sucks the position that we are in as artists, too. going up against the bigger kids in the sandbox. I guess we could call them. It's getting ugly out there. Actually, let's give that a much bigger curve. Let's give this like a maybe like a 1100. Yeah, that's better. Much better. 85. I am gnarly and running out of control. Alright, let's give that a big long curve. Alright, we can give it a little bit of its sauce back here. Cool. '86, '86, '86. Ugly. 87. Yep, that'll work. Nice little hyper poppy-ish. Let's give it a little fade here on the front. That's better. 88. Ooh, I like this one. This one's tasty. And we'll bounce that just like it is right there. That one's gonna get used. Yeah. Number 90. Yes. Definitely take this guy. Yeah. Take it just like it is. 91. Yes. Feels like a car collision, right? Added 2. Oh, what am I thinking sometimes? This is weird. What even is this? Oh, we'll call it 93. Right here. This little stepping down whistle kind of resonance in the middle of that thing. Yeah. $94. Start that right around here. Sample 95. Oh, love that. Dig this one. Oh, yeah. That's lovely. That's great. That's fantastic. 96. Put that one in the demo. I don't know about this one. I don't think this one's going to make it. I don't know. Pretty plain. 97. Yep. Oh, that's ace. That's golden right there. We'll just put a little curve on this of maybe 50 milliseconds here. 80. Disco. A little bold. Let's start this here. Bring this down just a touch. It's a little curve on the front. Hey, we are at sample 100. Boom, just like that. If we weren't perfectionists, we could quit. That's gold. What am I doing here? Fade in of 150, not 150 additional decibels. Yeah. It's a whole new kind of sound design. Just add 150 decibels to everything. Ooh, yeah, let's bump this up to, say, 500. Actually, maybe like 675. Yeah, let's bounce that. 102. Beautiful. $103. Boom. From right there. Say a fade in of 150. And beautiful. Number 104. Number 105. Number 106. Oof, quite loud, but also pretty dope. So I'll start this one right around here. Yeah. This one's pretty great. Number 108. Ooh, start this here, nice and tight. Bring it down a few dB. It'll fade. Yeah, that's dope. Take that. That's 109. Yeah, same with this one. Bring it down a few dB. Just chop it to right there. Sheesh, lovely. We're looking at 110. Sample number 111. Number 112. That works. Sample number 115. One 16. I like the feel of that one. Felt like something from Lost. One 18. Dream sequence suck back here. One 19. Yeah. Dig that. Let's give it a little curve here. Sample 120. That one's pretty good, although it's more of the same. We'll get one or two of those into the licensing portfolio. Maybe that one right there, actually. I like that one. Oh, this 121. 22. Three. Let's push that just a tiny bit so it feels a little bit driven. It's a little better. Sample 124. That was a nice one. That was good. I might keep that one. That's solid. That is sample 125. Let's bring this up to like maybe 1750. Yeah, it's a little better. I don't know if I really like that one. Something a little off about it. 126. Okay, this is really super tasty. Let's give it a nice little creep here. Let's say 1500. That's good. Let's push this a little bit. That's good. Sample 127. That's nice. That's tasty right there. Number 128. We are rapidly approaching the end of our sounds here. By another 20 or so to go. Let's back that up just a little bit. Get a little bit more out of that. Yeah. Yep, there it is. Number 129. Sample 130. Gonna add a bit of dB to this. That's good. Sitting at 131. Oh, it's nice that that didn't stay too bright. It's kind of knocking on some shrill there. 2-second fade in here. Let's do a little longer. Let's say 2750. That's better, I think. Sure. $132. Yeah, that feels about right. Number 133. I give this one a longer wind up than for it. And let's say it's going to be a total 2 seconds, maybe? Yeah, okay. Sure. All right, where are we? We are number 134. Sample 135. Let's chop this one in half. Get a nice long fade in, maybe 3 seconds. Great. All right, I think we're about to get into some modulating guys here. It's got to have some of those. Okay. Okay, this last group of sounds, like 15 sounds or so, maybe a little bit more, are really, really simple sounds, but there's modulation in them. Just simple symbols, basically. Let's start this guy from here. Let's ease into that a bit more. $138. Start this one here. go maybe like 2 seconds on this guy. All right, number 139. Solid. Highly useful. Done. All right, that's sample number 140. That's another solid one there. Just go ahead and frame that. $141. Disco. Take that one as well. Number 142. Yeah. Little edge. A little more edge. Yeah, it works. All right. Number 143. $144. I don't really like this one, so I'm not going to bother with it. This one? Yeah, I don't think I like that one either. That one's cool. We'll take that one. That is sample number 145. This should be really tight. It's good. $146. $147. Down just a little bit and bounce it. All right, y'all, we ended up with 148 samples. Now we just have to get rid of 48. So as I go through these, the first thing I'll listen to for is anything that sounds like a repeat of the one before or after it in the folder. So we cut down on repetition and similar sounding sounds, so there's a greater amount of timbral variety. And then it's interest from there. So anything that's less interesting balancing that with usefulness. So if there are a couple in here that are highly interesting, but I really don't think they're going to fit many projects, I'm just going to remove those. Those will most likely sell better in an individual license situation anyway, because they're so highly specific. And then I name them, and as I'm naming them, I mark my favorites, and then I drag my favorites into the timeline, and I make the demo track out of them, which is how you make a nice, tempting demo. Anti-clones. Well, not anti-clones. I sell the clones. I guess, to be fair, I'm selling all of these little life forms I create. Poor clones. Did you guys, speaking of clones, you guys see they created a woolly mammoth mouse? OhmLab is the clone. Joke's on you, homie. We're all clones. Humans have been evolving for so long that the odds of there being like a carbon copy of each one of us having already existed in the timeline is highly probable. Yes, little furball mouse, right? Right? He's so adorable. Previous you. It's true. It's true. We've all got doppelgangers walking around on the planet right now. Just imagine. You could actually, like, compile all of the U's across the timeline. It'd be great. There's a premise for a short story right there. All right, kitty cats. I should probably stretch my legs or something. I'm going to... Here, why don't we go ahead and hit play on a different one. Get some background music, and we'll see who is doing their thing over here on Twitch right now. All right. Who's up? Who's doing their thing right now? Some improv, some metal, some beats, some chatting. Go to Shoe's house. When in doubt, go kick it at Shoe's house. No feet on the sofa, please, and don't eat the food in the fridge. Make sure you pass to the left and show some appreciation. I will see you guys on the flip. We'll be back in 2 days' time on Friday. We'll do a Feedback Friday stream. Show up early. Drop your links early in public feedback to be heard. Looking forward to hear whatever you created this week. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you on the flip. Peace out.